very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. And me, Adebayo.
What a greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonapan.
All right, on a special day like this, we will talk about, the impending upcoming friendly between Nigeria and Portugal. A big friendly, big game on our hands. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what is going down here in Nigeria. Talking about the women, the NWFL Super 6. We look at the table after match day 2. Then, of course, we talk about arguably the biggest sporting event on the planet just a few days before the start of the football fiesta. Some call it the Mundial. We call it the FIFA World Cup. That's the outlook of the show tonight. And, of course, we'll not be doing the talking alone. We have lined up guests who will be sharing their thoughts and talking to us as well. But first, let me introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. He joins us tonight. Kehinde Idris joins us on the show tonight. Kehinde Idris, as always, it's good to have you join us on the show.
It's always good to be here. Fantastic day also, a day 2. That much talked about friendly Nigeria, Portugal, and then also, the FIFA World Cup is just upon us. Now the fever is setting. Probably club football overshadowed it for a while, but since that had ended with the Champions League, everybody has now focused on the FIFA World Cup. And yes, it's kicking in. It's kicking in, and I have a feeling that we've still not been hit yet. After match day 1, probably match day 1, day 2, the entire world will be turned in. But already we can see how fans are turning up around the world. Even countries that do not have their team represented,
100%,
are turning up.
I agree. All right, let me allow Austin set the ball rolling. Like I said, we have guests lined up who will be joining us shortly. But of course, the conversation in this first segment will be around the Super Eagles of Nigeria and, of course, the friendly against Portugal.
Yeah, when it's the Super Eagles, then you should expect it to generate some conversation because Nigerians love their football. Yes, we will not be at the World Cup, but when the Super Eagles are playing, Nigerians are still interested. Let's welcome Ayoti. Ayoti was on the show to preview Nigeria, Poland versus Nigeria. And Ayoti said it was going to end 2-2. Ayoti, good to have you again on Sports Tonight.
Yes, good evening, Austin. Good evening, Yemi. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Okay, good to have you on the show. And right here in London with me, Calvin Onka. He's the publisher, aclsports.com. Calvin, it's good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me, Austin.
Awesome, Calvin. Let's go to the gentleman in Canada, Ayoti. Made a bold prediction, said it was going to finish Poland 2, Nigeria 2. Ayoti, what are you expecting, Portugal versus Nigeria?
Look, Austin, now that you've reminded people of that, everybody's going to be looking to what I have to say about this. But I'm expecting a very interesting game, a tense affair. I think the Portuguese side will come out with a lot of confidence and quality. This is their final preparation match for the World Cup, so they would want to field a team that would be similar to what they would, field in the tournament proper. I think it's going to be very interesting. Again, I'm still relatively sad and disappointed that we don't have Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman featuring for the Super Eagles in this game. But nevertheless, it's going to be an exciting encounter. The Super Eagles are looking for revenge after that last, encounter, or the one encounter we've had against the Portuguese. It's going to be an interesting game. I'll save my prediction for later, though.
I know, no, don't be in a rush, Octopus IoT, call you now. Calvin, this sort of game, if we were going to the World Cup, we'll say, we'll check strategies, we'll check tactics. For Eric Shell and his Super Eagles, and you, the fans, what's this game all about?
Austin, I'm really upset that 2 days to the World Cup, we are not at the World Cup. I was watching the boys on against Poland the other night, and I was just like, how are we not at this World Cup? Because sincerely speaking, what Eric Shelley has been cooking with these boys from the AFCON, we would have done great things at this World Cup. When Morocco, when I was telling you, I said this a lot. In my years of watching the Super Eagles, and I've not said this lightly. In my years of watching Super Eagles, I do not think that I have seen us play in the fluent manner with which we played in Morocco, and in even watching us in Poland the other night. I was seeing it. So that's why even tomorrow night's match, I'm really looking forward to it. Yes, with Victor Osimhen and Ademola Lookman, it would have been different. But I'm not even going into this game thinking that we would suffer a lot for their absences, because Iwobi will be there. It will be his 100th cap. I'm sure we're probably going to talk about that later. But I just see a pattern. There's a way they play under Eric Shelley. And I love it. I love watching the way they play. I am really proud of them. And I'm disappointed, really, that we're not at the World Cup and Portugal are having to use us to practice for what they're going to do at the World Cup.
Yemi, I'll let you give us details of the game and take out the conversation from there.
All right, let me just pick up with the details, but probably throw in one for Calvin and Idris with me in the studio as well. Match details for the big one, Nigeria against Portugal. Wednesday's fixture, that's tomorrow. The game will be played at the Estadio Municipal de Leiria. That's the venue of the game. Of course, it's Portugal, Nigeria, Wednesday, June 10, 8:45 p.m. That's when the game will start. Let's quickly talk about the head-to-head. Nigeria and Portugal. Portugal beat us 4-0 in 2022, a while back, and that's the loss that the Super Eagles will try to avenge when they play against the Portuguese. And so we'll see what happens. All right, okay, Idris, let me throw one at you then before I probably throw in one for Calvin before we yield back to Austin. I have a feeling, I may be wrong, but, you know, a few of those IoT reference, them maybe, you know, showing us what they want to do at the World Cup, maybe now settling into a rhythm and playing what would look like their starting lineup for the World Cup. But this is a period where a lot of people know you are in the squad, but you are not yet at the World Cup.
Yeah.
People don't want to get injured.
Yeah.
So will that tone down the game a little?
Yeah, I think so. For Portugal, it will. And I'm sure, you know, maybe there is a way they could also express to the Super Eagles that, you know, it's fair play, just, you know, be easy with the tackles and all of that. At least they know the Super Eagles have nothing to lose. They are now at the World Cup. They are at the World Cup. But also, you want to be in a mood where you get into the World Cup feeling like you can kill. I think if you, you know, try to slow down, you know, try to turn it down, you might not really get, you know, that gear you want to get to before your very first game. Everybody wants to start a tournament on the right note. Win your first game in tournaments like this, and the remaining two games, you know, you just need probably a draw or one more win, and you're already talking about the knockout round. And I think that might be what might not make the tone really, you know, down for Portugal. Yes, they would want to, you know, as much as we're trying to be careful, but also be in, you know, that mood to get into competition mode. Because like Austin, you know, said, this is the final preparatory game before, you know, the World Cup. So the lineup looks like it might be, this is what I'll be going with, so let me sample it. Then also, how do you turn up? And then there is Congo in their group. So there is an African, so they playing an African would make you feel like, you know, an idea of what to expect, physicality and all of that. So already we're expecting a good game, no matter how they turn it down. It's Portugal. For Nigeria, it's also a win-win, aside not being at the World Cup, was shaping up, you know, to bigger things looking forward.
All right. Just my thoughts anyway, but let me just throw in one to Calvin. Once again, thanks for joining us, Calvin. Same question. Do you think, I mean, we've a couple of players just on the eve of the World Cup, getting injured. So do you think that will tone it down, maybe for the players and the coach? Express yourself, but be cautious. Will that affect the quality of the game?
It might affect the quality of the game in the second half. But in the first half, I don't think it would, because the home crowd would not. The home crowd would want. Actually, let me take it back. It's the last game before they fly out, right? So they would want to put up a display for the home fans before they're sent out to the US. So I'm thinking the first half will be plenty. There will be a lot of fireworks in the first half, and then much later in the second half, I expect things to settle down. So yes, that's how I think it's. Do you know what? I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that countries are still doing this thing. Portugal are playing Nigeria because they have DRC in their group. I don't think that playing Nigeria now is the kind of test you need because you're playing another African country. The way we play is different from the way the DRC play.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised if that's the reason why they've selected to play Nigeria. I don't think that would help them. The game has moved on from that. From that time when you went. Listen, all the players are playing in Europe anyway, so they see each other. They see each other week in, week out, and you can bring out all the highlights of players and all of that. But listen, I'm looking forward to a cracking first half, and if Nigeria should take the lead going into the second half, then there will be a cracking second half also.
I like it, so we'll wait to see what will come out of this one. But I totally agree with you, Calvin, that coaches will say, we'll play an African team, so let us go for an African opponent for a friendly game, But hey, they understand tactics and strategies. IoT, that first game, when we saw the lineup, particularly with the surprise inclusion of Abdoulaye Bewene, we asked questions, and then the guy was impressive. Do you want to see that same lineup against Portugal?
I would not go with the exact same lineup. We now have the luxury of having Alex Iwobi come into the squad. He wasn't in the Poland game. But I think that for a game like this, Eric Schell knows that despite it being a friendly, there's still the expectation of Nigerian fans to put up a good showing. It's not all about winning. It's about building a team and building your culture and continue to build your identity. But you also do not want to go there and lose effortlessly. So I think he would go what he deems to be his strongest possible 11. You mentioned Abdoulaye Bewene. He's looking like the only available right back in the squad. So he will probably get a start. And I'm really looking forward to that one because this is a young player who many would say not particularly earn his initial call-up. But we know that sometimes opportunities just drop in front of you and you have to be ready to take the opportunity. And he took his chance very, very well against Poland. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do against maybe a Conceição who might play from the left, or maybe Felix playing from the left of the Portuguese attack. It will be very interesting, but I think Eric Schell has to go with his strongest possible 11, and then in the second half, he can make changes.
We'll see. But I hope the team doesn't go like this or like that for Abdoulaye, because I know Nigerians, they will forget all the good things they did against Poland. Eric Schell and Wilfred Ndidi, the captain of the Super Eagles, they've been talking about this game against Portugal. Let's listen to them.
Yes, it will be a very good test for us. We made the first test against Poland, and Portugal is a great team, a massive team with big players as well. So it will also be a very massive test for us as a group, to our vision, to our aim as a team, to our growth. Missing out at the World Cup is really, really sad. Everyone can say that. But as I said earlier, the aim is not just to beat ourselves on what we've missed, is to actually look forward to the bright future and what we can actually achieve together as a team. He has brought in a great philosophy, and you see the way we performed at the AFCON. Yes, we couldn't, but it was exciting, So, and this is a positive thing, and the mindset also is very positive going forward. And we look forward to everything, every training, every game, like game by game, try to improve, So we learn both when we win, when we draw, when we lose, we keep learning. There's so much confidence in the team with our philosophy. We believe in ourselves. We don't care who we're playing, even if we're playing the likes of the biggest countries in the world. But the most important thing is we as a player, we as team, which is very important. And we look forward to taking our philosophy and our strategy, everything to the game.
We play against a big team. So this team can supposed to be the next champion of the world. So this is a big team, like we said. There is many big players in that team, so we are very happy to have this chance to play against them. So this is a big game for them and for us. So my only question is to stay focused about my players and like you said, about the philosophy and the way that we want to play this game. This is not a question about the result. Of course, because we played 3 years ago, we lost, so now maybe we scare about something. No, this is not a question about that. The most important thing, the most important goal and objective is to improve at every game. So we have to come that in that game with a great state of mind and our philosophy, of course. We took
That was Super Eagles captain Wilfred Ndidi and head coach Eric Shell speaking ahead of the international friendly game against Portugal. We'll go on this quick break. When we come back, inside the Niger Delta with Mamode Akuga will be on DSTV, while all other platforms will rock and roll with us on Sports Tonight. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning sports-loving channels television. We're taking a look at that international friendly game between Portugal and Nigeria. Look, the Super Eagles will not be at the World Cup, but there's still so much to play for in this one, for pride, for glory, for the FIFA rankings, guys. Calvin, think about it. Portugal, I think, are ranked 6th. The Super Eagles are ranked 26th. So imagine they beat Portugal. That will do a whole lot of magic to their position on the FIFA rankings.
It will, but then again, if we make more than 7 subs, it won't affect the rankings. So that's another factor. Any friendly match with more than 7 subs do not count in FIFA rankings. So if we, that's something we have to look out for. What is important is winning becomes a habit, or not losing becomes a habit. So if we can finish this run of friendlies against Poland in Warsaw and Portugal in Lisbon, without losing, it will only give the guys confidence for going forward into next year. I listen, Austin. I'm saying this here. I genuinely expect us to win the next AFCON. I really do. So this can only help if we keep the unbeaten run going. I expect us to win AFCON.
We'll see. Let's wrap it up now. IoT. But Calvin just got me thinking. 7 substitutions, nothing on the FIFA rankings. We made 8 substitutions in that game against Poland. But IoT, wrap it up for me in 1 minute. Your expectations, and see if you can still give us some octopus IoT prediction.
Expectations, a tough game, an exciting game. I expect to see a strong Portuguese side, but I expect to see Super Eagles that are confident and feel like they can go toe-to-toe. We're going to have to respect them, but they would also have to respect some of our players. As far as my prediction, like I went last time, I have my head and my heart. My head tells me that this would be a 3-1 victory for Portugal. I honestly like they would have more than enough quality to defeat us. This is contingent on the number of subs they make at halftime, etc. But I think that they would have more than enough to beat us. But my heart tells me 2-2, that the Super Eagles will be able to hold them to
2-2 again?
That's what my heart tells me, but my head is saying Portugal will get a 3-1 victory.
We'll see. Ayoti, thank you so much for your time on the show tonight. Calvin, what is your Nigerian heart telling you?
Frankly, I really, really don't care what the result is. I just want to see us play well. That's really I was doing the Poland game, I was just interested in how we played. I was very happy with the way we played it. So if we play well, I'm fine with that. I really am. Let those players not be intimidated by Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, but fortunately Leiria won't play. So yes, let them just show their qualities, and I'll be glad. Just let them show it.
I'll be glad. So Nigerians will be glad. Thank you so much, Calvin Walker, for your time on the show tonight. Always a delight.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's it. IoT from Canada, Calvin Walker, right here in London with me. Let's go to our Lagos studios. Kende Idris, what is your head telling you with the Super Eagles? Can they stun Portugal?
I think that would be very tough. I have a feeling. The last time I actually do not, came up with a prediction, but I said a draw would suffice, in the Polish game. But I think this one, maybe a slim win for Portugal. I kind of have huge respect for the team that they've got, and I think would overwhelm not just about the team, but also the fans in the stadium. So probably a 2-1, victory for Portugal.
All right. Also, he asked me for any prediction, but I'll go against what everybody else will say. Victory for the Super Eagles. Don't ask me about the scoreline anyway. But a victory for the Super Eagles.
Come on, that's a bold call. If you say victory for the Super Eagles, tell us 1-0, 2-1.
All right, I'll go for 2-0. Let's keep it at that. And if it doesn't happen, let's not talk about it again. But let's listen to Alex Iwobi, what he has to say. Spent over 11 years with the Eagles, and he's going to make his 100 cap if he plays. I'm very sure he's going to play tomorrow. So let's listen to Alex Iwobi, what he has to say ahead of the game.
I think it was my first international game was against Congo with Sunday Elise. And it was a good experience. Like, it was crazy because I've represented England in the past, so I already had that international experience. But to play for the first team was amazing. And to be fair, like, the team, the staff, they made me feel welcome. I didn't feel any pressure, and they just allowed me to go and express and enjoy myself. We've always said, go and do what you feel is right, go enjoy your football. Of course, my family is Nigerian, he's a Nigerian legend, so the advice I got from my parents and from him is, before you take a decision on where you want to play, give Nigeria a trial and see how you feel. So I actually went to the under-23s and experienced it for myself, and I felt a lot like I'm at home. No disrespect to England, because England I had a good time, but Nigeria is where my house is where my home is, where my heart is. And yeah, he did influence me a bit, but at the end of the day, it was ultimately my decision. Of course, I would have liked to win the AFCON. I would have liked to be participating in this World Cup that's about to take place. But me in life, there's no regrets. There's no regrets, because your story could have changed. You never know how it could have turned out. So I'm happy to be where I am today. And yeah, everything that happened in the past, the big achievements, and there's also lessons, so I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't say I'm a legend. I leave that to the people. If the fans and my friends, family decide I'm a legend, then yes. But I just say that I'm a Nigerian Super Eagles player. It's been an honor to represent. Hopefully I'll be able to achieve another 100 more. But no, I'm happy to make 100 appearances for my country, and like a nation like Nigeria is a big achievement because we have so many talented players. So I appreciate the players I've played with. I appreciate the staff, the coaches that have called me up many and several times. So yeah, I'm proud to be where I am today.
All right, Alex Iwobi. It will be the exalted company of Joseph Yobo and Ahmed Musa. I don't know why I keep saying if he plays tomorrow, but I have a feeling he's going to play. So it's not a matter of he's going to touch the ball tomorrow. So hopefully he gets to do that. And of course, wish him more good years in his club and with the Super Eagles. All right, I also think we have to move on to the NWFL, where it's hotting up. Super 6 getting interesting. We've seen match day 2, and we're about to examine and, of course, review what has happened. There you have on your screen the results from match day 1 and match day 2. And Kende Idris, permit me to quickly run through the results. I start with match day 1. Edo Queens lost to Nassau Amazons by a lone goal. Rivers Angels defeated FC Robo Queens 3-2. Bayelsa Queens with a 1-0 draw with Abia Angels. On Monday, that was yesterday, match day 2, Abia Angels defeated Rivers Angels by a lone goal. Nassau Amazons, by the way, the only team that has won 2 matches, defeated Bayelsa Queens 2-1. And FC Robo Queens lost to Edo Queens. And Edo Queens won that game 4-1. Let's see what the table looks like after match day 2. This is what the table looks like. Nazareth Amazons sitting pretty on top after winning their first 2 matches, followed by Abia Angels, Rivers Angels, Bayelsa Queens, FC Robo Queens, and of course Edo Queens in that order. Kate Idris, quickly, I want to get your thoughts. Nazareth Amazons sitting pretty.
Yeah.
But of course it's a marathon.
Yeah.
3 sets of matches to be played. But your general impression after seeing 2 match days?
With what I saw in the regular season, I think National Amazons are one of the teams to really beat. Although the argument still stays that they are from the part where it's seemingly easier.
Not as tough as
the Edo Queens, Bayelsa, and also Rivers Angels. But when push comes to shove, you just have to show your mettle. You have to show the level that you are. And Nassau Amazons, every day, all day, are one of those teams that are class, in the NWFL. Just like the Nasarawa United also. And Nasarawa, every time I try to give, the people in charge of these teams their flowers. They are doing something fantastic. I think I'm particularly not happy with Rivers Angels. I think you're a top side, and the way they've handled their affairs. But like you have mentioned, it's still a whole lot. About 4 more games to still play. We play just 2, and they could turn it around. But Edo Queens, turn up the style against Robo Queens, and I think I just mentioned Robo Queens, who to me happens to be the most disappointing team yet in the NWFL Super 6. But we would also give them a chance.
I can understand your frustration
to play.
As somebody based in Lagos.
In Lagos, exactly.
I can understand your frustration. All right, matches we play tomorrow. Let's just quickly look at it before we take some reactions. You can see pictures on your screen from some of the matches tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Edo Queens will be up against Abia Angels, 9 a.m. Rivers Angels will be up against Bayelsa Queens, the next game to follow. And Edo Queens will be up against Nazareth Amazons. All right, let's take some reactions. Of course, who would you want to listen to? The man whose team is sitting on top. Christopher Danjuma, coach of Nazareth Amazons, of course, sharing his thoughts after match day 2. Let's listen to him. We'll come back for more.
Believe you can come out of this place with something. I kept shouting, believe. Yesterday I talked about mentality and adaptability. So you're one going down, you want to be in the race, you must not come to any match and then pick any point. So I say believe. Believe in our goal setting, that we set a goal that this is how far we want to go in this competition and this is what we want to achieve. So we must keep believing every day we come out of the field. So the simple word was believe. We want to approach to the intensity and what needs, whatever is needed. Because I think is the only team that took 4 points from us. Yeah. So I think it has come to a ground why we want to take our points back.
All right, so Christopher Danjuma sharing his thoughts. Let me yield to Austin. After match day 2, what are your thoughts? Anything could happen. Look, match day 3, match day 4, match day 5, anything could happen in all of those matches. But if it ends today, Nazareth Amazons are champions. Although it's not ended today, but as it is, you must credit the coach for being the only team that has been able to get 100%.
You know, I mean, I've said it over and over again, and I did it with confidence. I don't know if you were on the show, Kende Idris, but I remember Cecilia. I've said it 2 times. I said the champions of the NWFL this year will come from Group B. Wow. I've been saying it, and I'm still saying it, that to come from Group B. And after 2 matches, Nasarawa and Amazons already saying, Austin, we got you. Don't worry. We see you. We know what you know. You know, not just Nasarawa Amazons, Abia Angels also doing, good to be second at that table. I know this is football where anything can happen, but I think we gave so much attention to Group A, where we had the powerhouses. And then in Group B, teams like Nasarawa Amazons, FC Robo Queens, and Abia Angels, they were building momentum match after match, getting character that is needed for success. And that's very, very important. And that is what they have brought into the Super 6. If you see the way Nasarawa Amazons won that game against Bayelsa Queens, you can tell that it was proper football character in action, and they went on to do it. Not just Nasarawa Amazons, even Abia Angels. Yeah. The way they saw off Rivers Angels. Look, in football, when you win 1-0, it's arguably the most difficult scoreline to have in football, and they got the job done. Let's listen to Abia Angels and some of the reactions that came out of that big win over Rivers Angels.
Sometimes football is scoring. The guests went to the party today, but they could not deliver the party. Sometimes you have a bad day. The attack line, the chances came, chances, but today wasn't there. More conscious of scoring goals at that moment, because she was playing at home. She believed that she would be always attacking, forgetting that she has the responsibility to defend. But in the second half, since that has never happened again. Throughout the game, in the second half, when they are playing, and the goals refused to come. Because the pitch is a little bit waterlogged, it wasn't easy to give them good access to the ball. So we have to cut off the midfield and not the attack from the midfield to the attack.
Yeah, so that's it. Shout out to Abia Angels, big win over Rivers Angels. And it tells you that, look, this is football where anything can happen. You hear me? The World Cup is here.
Yes. We're going to give an official confirmation with regards to the number of days to go to the World Cup. Let me just quickly go across and just quickly show to you. There you go. If anybody tells you that they're not feeling it yet, they're lying. We're feeling it. Forget the fact that Nigeria is not there. We're feeling it. The fever is high. 2 days to go. 3 opening ceremonies to look forward to. One in Canada, one in Mexico, one in the United States. It's going to be different. 2 days to go before the Mundial. That's what they call it, is on parts. A festival of football. It is going to be. And Kende Idris, I shouldn't be asking you if you're feeling it. We all are feeling it. All right. So, but before we talk about the World Cup proper, let's talk about some of the stories coming out of the a not too interesting story, because we're Africans. It's about the story of the Somali referee Omar Atan that has been denied visa. Of course, he claims to have every document that is needed. And this is a referee rated highly by CAF. He was going to be the first referee from his country. Yeah. In fact, a lot of information about him writes that record-breaking, set to make history, but everything has turned on his head.
He's not just highly rated by CAF. He's also very much highly rated by FIFA. Getting invited to the FIFA's World Cup, it's not the Junior World Cup, it's not the Under-17, it's not the Under-20, it's not the Olympic, it's the FIFA Senior Men's World Cup. You don't just get any any referee to come and officiate. The story is still not clear why, the entire reason why it was being denied, but the story we have is it's been denied. And I ask a simple question.
Vetting concerns.
Yes, and I ask a simple question. FIFA, Are they wading into this? Is it just in the hands of,
It brings me to an interesting thing that everybody has been saying. And I want to ask Austin because it's probably closer to the rumor mill than we all are. A lot of people in Western media already say it looks like FIFA has lost control of its competition. They are bowing to the United States. You can also argue that you have to respect the laws of a country, and they're not going to change their laws for anybody. But do you think FIFA seems to be losing control of all this? A lot of people, like our colleague Cecilia Morgo was saying today, that look, if you already knew that these laws exist, couldn't you have scheduled the guy probably to go to Mexico or Canada and not have to, deal? So logistically, do you think FIFA failed in this, irrespective of what the Americans might be doing to the Somali referee?
It's both ways. Yes, in terms of checks and balances, FIFA has failed, because this referee is their responsibility. And I completely agree. Because for America to deny him, they must have done their background checks on the guy. But he holds a valid visa. He got to America, but he was denied entry. So that's where you expect FIFA. FIFA should have stepped in there. If I get to the United States of America today, and at the border, they're telling me I can't go in, I'll call my sister who lives in the United States of America. And she'll be the one who could probably talk to them, or if they're not letting me in, she wants to have reasons. So FIFA needs to explain to us, because there's some level of profiling in this. We won't just let it go. We're Africans. There's some level of profiling. Yeah. So FIFA has a lot of explanation to do. The U.S. border and immigration control, they aren't saying much. They've done their part. FIFA, I totally agree with you, should come out and say what is the problem with this Somali referee and why has it been embarrassed and disgraced this way. It's really heartbreaking. It was awarded the best referee from Africa last year. If they treat the best referee from Africa this way, and you've been seeing some crazy pictures online. Haven't you guys been seeing it? How they were searching players, make them look like they're refugees who want to go to the United States of America and run away. This is the World Cup. It's gradually losing its prestige because of all of these things that we're seeing. But hey, FIFA must take control. FIFA must show that this is the beautiful game and we must uphold its integrity and prestige.
We must. Well, we've talked about the bad, we've talked about the ugly, let's talk about the good. Trust me, all of these things, we're going to forget it in the next 2 days. I feel sorry for the Somali referee. It's the Mundial. These are the fixtures. On Thursday, this is what you're going to see. Mexico against South Africa. It reminds you of what happened 60 years ago. This was the fixture that opened the 2010 World Cup, Mexico and South Africa. And again, it's happening here. So Mexico takes on South Africa. On Thursday, South Korea takes on the Czech Republic. It's going to be very, very interesting to look forward to. And I hope, for the sake of everyone involved, that all of this logistical nightmare, all of these issues would be sorted out. But also, let's talk about one of the facilities, and I know you're going to make us listen to some of the stakeholders. Let's talk about one of the facilities to be used, the Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium. You can say a lot of things about the Americans, but when it comes to showbiz, when it comes to facilities, nobody does it better.
That's right. They've told us that they're going to give us a show. And Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium will host 6 matches, And look, the message is straight and simple. They say they are ready. Listen.
The locker room, usually we're talking about 50 plus people, 56 players plus the assistant coaches and all the special coaches around. for the football, it's pretty much you're talking about 26 players plus assistant coaches. So in order to make equitable and kind of equal to each player that comes here, we made sure that both locker rooms have kind of the same strategy and the same sizes. We need to do some adjustments, which is normal when you go to different areas. So LA has one thing, New York has another requirement, KC has their own requirement. So one of them we're kind of very different. We just have one tunnel for everyone to arrive. So that's something unique about KC, and we just have to prepare accordingly.
Yeah, okay, nothing to add. The World Cup has come.
I think there is something we've been amazed by, when we listen to these guys who are in charge of, tournaments, facilities, the way they come up with numbers, statistics, the way they come up with precise, talks. It makes you feel like this is what they call leave no stones unturned. Yes, eventualities happen. Things happen, during competition, but you would see from their preparation that they've checked and balanced everything that needs to be balanced, and all they wait for is probably natural occurrences and for the beautiful game to have a beautiful showing and the people get to enjoy it. And Kansas City, just like every other city, whether it's Mexico or Canada or USA, are ready for the FIFA World Cup, and we are waiting to be swelled and enjoy, the beautiful game. Like they always say, club football has taken a whole lot of shine, but whenever the FIFA World Cup takes center stage, everybody just understand there is something mystical about it, and also the host of the competition.
Yeah, and I think by now we are done licking our wounds. Nigeria will not be there. We can watch the World Cup without pressure. And hopefully we've learned our lessons. Our parting shot on the show tonight, we'll go to Mexico. Let's talk about the Mexicans, the L3. Let's talk about Mexico. And, of course, the President, Claudia Sheinbaum, joined the team for the send-off. And, of course, as we always say, when the number one person in the country gives you the support and is with you, you know that everything is going to go fine. Kennedy Idris, I don't know how far the Mexicans will go, but when you have things like this, a proper send-off, we saw what the French did. Emmanuel Macron showed up with the French team. Send them off in grand style. And this one, for the Mexicans, like I said, I don't know how far they will go. As far as hosting goes, Mexico are a strong team. As for their national team, I cannot say, but one thing you cannot argue against, one thing you cannot deny, they have the support at the highest level.
It's like a son going for, probably one of his scariest, exams or day, and then he has or she has the dad, patting her on the back, or the mom. You feel like the entire world can stay anywhere. These are the most important people, and they are cheering me on. And that's what the president just did. That's, sometimes we take a presidential handshake. It's because of the lofty heights that these people are. And then you, as a footballer who feels like you're a gladiator, you're now having the president come up to a gladiator and say,
carrying the weight of a nation.
I'm backing you to go ahead. Just know that we're behind you. Not just fans. They respect every fan, but this is the president, and it goes a long way. Like you said, I don't know where they will get to, but every player will carry these moments in their hearts as they go into that competition every match day. So it's what you do. Yeah. You mentioned Macron, the Croatian president, the woman, her name skips me now, Angela Merkel. All of this, they know what it means, and so they tend to play that role, just to give them the final support. Huge backing.
Yeah. All right, also your parting shots, closing thoughts. The president, of course, showing the support. A major boost, you want to say?
It is, Yemi, and I must commend governments all over the world and how they have embraced sports because of the World Cup. We have seen different pictures of how countries came together to send off their teams, wish them well. Paraguay, it was a big party, the fireworks, crazy. It was like it was New Year's Day, I loved it so much. Look at what Senegal did also. It's beautiful to see that football is getting that front row seat and being recognized as a soft power. Before we go tonight, dear FIFA, we want to know what happened. Somalian referee Omar Atan was turned back. It was refused. I was denied entry into the United States of America after being subjected to an 11-hour interview.
Yeah.
Is it because he's an African? That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonak, and in everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
It's around here in Lagos as well. What did I thank Idris for his time on the show? Conversation never ends. We take it out of the studio. But again, thank you for braving the odds. Thank you for finding time to be with us.
Thank you for being here, and I like Austin. And if we don't say our stories, nobody will.
Definitely.
So we should.
Definitely. All right, that's how the cookie crumbles on the show tonight. We'll do this again tomorrow. Join us then. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.